What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Friday. Welcome in to another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault at Sports Talk Matt, to follow me across all socials. This podcast being brought to you by our friends at OmahaSteaks.com. Labor Day is upon us. Now, the Labor Day savings will go away here very soon, but you can still take advantage of them right now with a 50% off offer across the entire site using the promo code JUICE in the search bar, plus 8 free Omaha Steak burgers and Jumbo Franks when you use that promo code JUICE at OmahaSteaks.com. Get some meat for yourself, your family, your friends, whomever, for the end of the summer as we head towards college and pro football. Okay, 1-2 night last night. That was frustrating. Sorry, 2-1 last night. Sorry, not 2-1 night. Should have been a 3-0 night. If Gus Malzahn wasn't such a punk, we would have gone 3-0. But because Gus Malzahn is Gus Malzahn, and why is Gus Malzahn at Central Florida? Because everybody at Auburn hated him. That's why. He didn't win enough either. But scoring a touchdown with 54 seconds left when you're up 49-6, yeah, real tough guy move there. Yeah, that's a real strong move there, guy. Way to go. Feel good about yourself? Yeah. Taking a knee would have been the thing to do. That would have been the classy thing to do, but Gus Malzahn's not classy. So, my bad on that. Yes, I'm mad. Don't like the play at all. But hey, the boosters, your boosters got the over, the cover and the booster over. Congratulations. You got that for the alumni. Feel good about yourself now? Anyways, 5-1 mark to start the college football season. 3 more bets coming at you guys here tonight on a Friday for college football as we head towards the long weekend. Before I do that, let me tell you more about the Daily Juice NFL Picks Contest going on right now. Okay, here's the number. We are at 143 entries. We need to get to 500. Somebody on Twitter yesterday was angry, saying, you know, Matt, BettingPros and Splash Sports should cover that. If we don't get to 500, well, we should have an overlay, and that overlay should be covered. Guys, okay, I understand what Circa Sports is, okay? I do know Derek Stevens personally. I've interviewed him multiple times, talked to him multiple times, see him all the time. I'll see him a ton this weekend. I know what Circa is. I know how the Million and the Survivor, people just think that, well, having overlays is normal. It's not. Derek is a generous person, and he wants to have action. So he's willing to have overlays. But guess who doesn't have overlays? The Superbook. The ones who started the entire thing. The people who started the NFL handicapping pick contest. They don't have an overlay. Okay? So if they get 1,000 entries, then they wind up with the prize pool of what it is. Okay? This is the same thing. It's based on 500 entries at $50 a pop. If we get 500, then there's $22,500 in the prize pool, and thus you can go and see how it's broken up with the top prize being $4,500. But we got to get to 500 entries. If we don't, we'll have to reassess and readjust. No one's going to lose money on this, guys. Like, this is a contest. It's for fun. It's for money. But no one's going to front that and say, oh, yeah, that's okay. I'm going to put up and lose $10,000 or whatever it might be. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Don't get twisted here as to what we're doing. Yes, I get that people think that everyone should just eat it. Just take it. You're putting the contest up. Well, no. We need a certain number of people in for the pool to be what it is. Okay? So we're progressing okay. All right? We may not get to 500. I hope we do. But if you haven't jumped in yet, please do. And it's the 1st of September. We have 9 days after today to see who we can get in. The way you enter this contest, bettingpros.com/pick is how you get in. We are going to have open invitation to join all the way up to the 10th of September. Game day, day 1 of the NFL season. Okay? 7 picks straight up, not against the spread. You must get a winner, not a tie. Ties or losses, wins or wins. 1 point for every win. And we see who winds up with the most points at the end of the season. Okay? bettingpros.com/pick to enter into the Splash Sports Daily Juice pick contest this NFL football season. All right, let's talk about tonight. 3 games I want to get into here for tonight. Let's start with Central Michigan against Michigan State. Now, do you know what happens when you go to Central Michigan a lot of times? You wanted to play for Michigan State. You wanted to play for Michigan. You have a chance to knock off the Spartans. Michigan State's not good. I don't know how much longer Mel Tucker will be the coach, but I don't think it's going to be much longer. He's been there 4 years. It's a very hard job. Hard place to recruit to. Hard place to win. They have a new quarterback coming in, two new quarterbacks coming in. They've got very inexperienced players, and it's a 14.5-point line for Central Michigan, who out of the MAC we love. Central Michigan is a team that plays defense. Central Michigan is a team that can run the football. They can burn the clock. I think this could be a really difficult game. I think Central Michigan could shock the world and they could beat Michigan State here in game one. I really do. I don't like Michigan State. I don't like their offense. I think they've got, the Chippewas have got a good coach who's been there for a long time. They got a running game that I like. They've got a quarterback who can move the football, and I think their defense is good enough. Good enough to slow down Michigan State or keep them in the game. 14.5. This is a huge game. CBS Sports Network has this game. Central Michigan against Michigan State. If they beat the Spartans, I'm not going to be surprised at all. I'll just take the 14.5 points and hope that the game stays close. I like Central Michigan plus 14.5, 1.1 units with a chance to maybe even knock off the Spartans here on the road. Big game for the MAC. Big game for Central Michigan. Michigan State, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be all that interested in playing here, but Central Michigan is a team that will be motivated. I'm not sure Michigan State will match it. Plus 14.5, Central Michigan, 1.1 units. Bet number 2. Let's talk about Miami of Ohio against Miami, Florida. Number is 16.5. Minus 115. Fando has this number. So here's the thing about Miami over Ohio. Another MAC team who we bet and we did a lot of work on over the last couple of years. Defensively, they are very good. Okay, defensively, they were last year, they were a team that we were looking at a lot because they were pretty good on the road. They were 5-3 ATS on the road, and Miami was awful last year against the number. Horrible. 2-10, 1-7 in the ACC, 1-6 at home. They were just awful. And I think the fact that Miami was so bad last year, the Hurricanes were so bad last year, ATS, I think we're getting a break here, I think, with the number being 16.5. Because I think Miami is a much better football team. I think Miami just is a much better team than Miami of Ohio, and I think Miami of Ohio might really struggle in this game. I'm not sure Miami of Ohio is going to score all that much. You look at team totals for Miami of Ohio, and you're like, all right, how many points could Miami of Ohio score? Team total is 13.5. 13.5 with the game total being 45.5 tells you that the books are thinking that, okay, 30, 31 points. If Miami gets over 30 points here, it's lights out. Ohio's not going to score. Miami's not going to score. Miami of Ohio. Not going to score. A part of me says take the team total for the Hurricanes. I'll personally be on that. It's 30.5. But I'm a little bit concerned just about Miami of Ohio's defense holding down and playing ball control with Brett Gabbert, the quarterback. I'm a little concerned about that. So, I don't know. Miami's got a couple of really good players on their defense, NFL caliber players on their defense. And I think they're going to be able to run the football. I think they're going to be able to at least, 10 to 14 points for Miami of Ohio. I would lean towards the under as well, but I think Miami gets it done by 3 touchdowns. I think Miami will score. I'll lay the 16.5 points here. I think it's one of those situations where it's the Jimmies and the Joes. It's just a better team. And again, I don't like the offense for Miami of Ohio. I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball against this new defense for Miami. And I think Mario Cristobal's offensive line is going to do some damage. I think they'll run the ball right down the throats of Miami of Ohio. I think they'll basically do whatever they want here. I'm going to lay the 16.5 points. Hurricanes against the Red Hawks, laying 16.5 points at home. I'm not touching the totals in this today because I got burned on that one bet. I'd rather just bet which side I think is going to win. I think Miami does win. I think Miami wins and covers. Miami of Florida, the Hurricanes, win and cover, laying 16.5 points. And then finally, this game has been tough. Okay, so Hawaii is playing its second game in 6 days. Hawaii is flying back from Nashville. Really long flight. Already played a game. So everyone's jumping in on Hawaii. Number was 7, now it's 3. 3. Hawaii was really bad last year. Now, they've changed things up. They have a new coach. They have a new offense. They are dramatically different. We saw it last week. Dramatically different. And a lot of people have said, look this is not the same team by any means. Hawaii's got a quarterback. They got an offense. This Hawaii team's going to do some big things. Look out for Hawaii. Okay. So the number goes from -7 to -3. But we haven't seen Stanford play yet. Now, Stanford was bad last year. I'm not going to deny that Stanford was not a good team, and not a good team against the spread either last season. They were 2-10 ATS. Now, the Hawaii was 9-4 last year, even though they were really bad straight up. They were pretty good against the number. Stanford only won 3 games. Hawaii only won 3 games, but Hawaii was covering like crazy because everyone thought Hawaii was going to be awful, and the numbers were gigantic. They kept on covering. If you remember, going back to last year, just the types of numbers we were seeing with Hawaii were ungodly. But Stanford didn't. They lost the last 5 games, and Stanford was, frankly, Stanford was really bad. That's why they have a new head coach. David Shaw's gone. They have a new coach now coming in, and let's see what they're going to look like. But they do have a couple of decent running backs. They have a good offensive line. I think they're just a better football team. I think the over might be in play because Hawaii's defense is still not good. I mean, Vanderbilt scored, 35 points on them last week? They lost the game. They covered the 17.5 points. They're now 3-point home dogs. Stanford, I just think Stanford's a better football team than Hawaii is. And yes, new coach, but I think they're going to be able to run the ball. And I think this will be, again, I think the over could be in play, but I think the better play is just to lay the 3. Once I got to 3, I was waiting. I was like, okay, this gets down to 3. I'm going to take Stanford because we don't know what Stanford's going to look like. They were decimated by the transfer portal. I get it, but it's still Stanford. They're still a Pac-12 school. They still have just bigger bodies. And yes, Hawaii played a game, but Hawaii flew back from Nashville. And this is their second game in 6 days after that long flight. I don't know what the energy level is going to be like for these kids coming up later in the game. I just think Stanford, I think it benefits them to not have played a game. I think they've got fresher bodies to not have to play. So I think this is going to be a problem spot, a danger spot, in my opinion, for Hawaii because everyone seems to be on Hawaii. Everyone's jumping on them going, oh, they're such a different team. Look out. Here we go. Here comes Hawaii. I don't know. I think it's a little bit more of a, I don't know. I'm a little surprised. Troy Taylor's he's a new head coach, new system at Sacramento State. This guy put up numbers, put up points, put up numbers. Everyone's saying Stanford's only got 3 starters back and, on offense and, look out, here we go. I don't know. I don't think Stanford's going to be, overwhelmed and wowed by playing in Hawaii. And I personally think that there's just too much firepower here, too many people going on Hawaii. It's remarkable. Going from 7 to 3, I think we hit the basement here. I think Timmy Chang's team is going to put up some numbers. They put up some numbers on Vandy. I lean towards the over 55.5, but I don't know. Everyone's saying Stanford's the worst Power 5 team, that they're just horrible, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to fade everyone's play. Maybe I'm dead wrong. I'm going to take Stanford. Stanford -3, 1.1 units here on the road at Hawaii. Okay, 3 bets for us going on a Friday. We are taking Central Michigan plus 14.5 at Michigan State. Laying 16.5, Miami of Florida at home against Miami of Ohio. And we're catching 3 points laying 3 points. Stanford -3 on the road at Hawaii. All 3 of those bets. Well, let's see. -115 on 16.5. So -110, and Oh, is that even money? I got even money in Vegas. Let's see if you guys can get even money for the East Coast books for this Stanford game at -3, even money. Hold on. Let's do real quick from the juice perspective. No. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be, I get even money, but it's -110. It's -110. So 1.1 units. Okay. So again, Stanford -3, 1.1 units. Miami of Ohio -16.5, 1.15 units. Central Michigan +14.5, -110 as well on that 1.1 units down. 3.3 units down on college football. 2-1 last night, 5-1 so far in college football. Let's have another good night here. This one's a little bit dicey. I'll say I'm going against a lot of people's trends. A lot of people think I'm okay with being on an island. Let's have another good night. Friday night with 3 college football plays. I'll talk to you guys in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to join in. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.